actually joined by Emmanuel. Emmanuel is joining us all the way from United States of America, and about the next generation is already building AI. The question of the day: can tertiary and industry keep up? So this is brought to you by the Girls in STEM Trust, SkyzMetro FM, and the Bulawayo Tech Hub. So over the past few weeks, we've been exploring how tertiary institutions are adopting to AI and what happens when students trained with AI tools enter the workforce and the workspace. So as we are joined by you, Emmanuel Namhlanje, we want to learn more. So good afternoon, Emmanuel. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you? I'm so sorry. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. No complaints on my end.
All right. So we want to delve into like building before the what do you call them? The students actually graduate. We can start at the foundation.
Yeah, sure. I can tell you what I built and then how it applies to that. So what I built is FundaAI. It's an AI school to build young Africans to be globally competitive software engineers. So we do this by giving them a virtual campus. The virtual campus comes in the form of laptops with an offline AI brain and AI tutors to support their learning. So they're learning guided by AI tutors, essentially, to teach them different things, to help them prepare for exams, help them learn problem-solving skills, help them learn foundational software engineering skills. And then, like, we believe that as much as learning is evolving to incorporate AI, like there's like an undeniable value in AI in general, it doesn't happen by AI alone. If you want to build like engineers who are functional in society, you need to have other engineers mentoring them. You need to get them building software. You need to get them working on existing code bases, guided by other engineers. So the other layer that we add is that mentorship layer, where we get kids as young as 12 working on existing code bases, guided by more experienced engineers. So basically, this AI school itself, the AI tutors will be built by the kids. Now, in practical terms, the building is done by engineers, but the engineers have calls with the kids to, like shadowing. The kids are shadowing the engineers, kind of show them the ropes, explain how things work to them under the hood. So they're self-learning by AI, they're guided by AI, they're learning the foundational skills by AI, but they're still having that mentorship from engineers. And as they get more and more advanced, they start being given more tasks that are a little more engaging. So okay. That's the core of yeah.
All right, I love that. Kandi, what age group are we working with and what kinds of things are they building? Because I know you just touched a bit on it just now, but I want you to delve deeper into it. What exactly are they building? What are they working with? And what age group are we working with?
Sure. So as early as 12, that's the age group. As long as they're self-driven, that's the real criteria. What are they building? So they're working on existing code base. So for example, with FundaAI is there's many things that go into FundaAI technically, right? There's the AI tutors, the desktop apps, for example. There's a layer we have to check if users subscribed. There's the app store itself. There's multiple layers that are involved in FundaAI. So the kids are working on that existing code base. They're learning multiple things like front-end, back-end, systems engineering, basically the full scope of engineering in general. So in the beginning, they're working on FundaAI's code base, but as time goes on, we want to get working on like more different company projects, basically, as time goes on. But it's the same concept. The work is being done by engineers, but they're shadowing that work, and they're getting incrementally more and more tasks as they get more advanced.
Okay. So our students now, how then do they balance between traditional academics like Cambridge curriculum with technical work like coding and building products?
It's a good question. So something I've seen, like just throughout my career, right? Something I've seen is that my white peers oftentimes have this like disadvantage. They seem to come into the field with this know things. And when you chat to them, you realize they were mentored from a very young age by their fathers who were engineers. So they're able to balance performing well in school while building practical skills. And I think that's where real learning happens. You don't just learn in isolation, just learn theory in isolation, then apply later on in life. I think that model is the reason why we have many graduates who struggle to find a job. because the job market, they get the graduates and they realize that they can't apply their skills practically. So it's not as valuable because you can't apply your skills to like a business use case, for example. We bridge that gap very early on. That's how it's more of like we see it more as like you have to learn and then apply what you learn practically to really understand it from very early on.
Okay. All right, we want to talk about a new kind of readiness, okay? So we've heard in the earlier episodes that AI-trained students can be fast and actually experimental sometimes, but sometimes do struggle with over-reliance on lack of soft skills. So maybe we can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good point. So with the mentorship, the beautiful part about that is they have to interact with engineers in real time. So like one thing I've been doing, for example, with the people that I'm mentoring is that I ask them to explain in their own words what we just did. So that gets them to think about everything we just did, everything they learned from AI, and explain it back to me. So inherently, they'll be able to explain their work to other engineers. That's a soft skill that's very, very important. And beyond just that, we get kids presenting what they're working. So another soft skill is very, very valuable in the workplace. So people talk about the dangers of AI. Like I've heard this research about how using AI can have a detrimental effect on your problem-solving skills. But it boils down to how people use AI. If you use AI to source your thinking, if you just pass in everything into AI, for example, and expect an answer, then you won't grow. But if you use AI to support your learning, to learn fundamentals, and have a discussion with AI, then you will grow a lot faster. It's like a calculator, essentially.
Wow. Wow, guys, having a conversation, Lo Emmanuel, we're just tuning in. We are talking all things AI and institutions, Lama students as a whole. And let me tell you, like, this is really informative, even to me as well. So how do you help them connect what they build to real world value, the kind of thinking that employees expect?
So, like I mentioned, they're working on the AI code base, right? FundaAI is a business, essentially. So we're building a product, and they're the end users. So they, as the end users, can see if there's a bug in the product. If there's something that shouldn't be working the way it should be working, they can see that. They notify us of the bug itself, and then that bug is assigned to an engineer who then fix that particular task. So they see things from a product management perspective, like spotting bugs. They see us translate that bug into like technical requirements. How are we going to fix that bug? They hop on a call. They understand how the bug is being resolved. So they're seeing the full pipeline of like having a user like have an issue with your product, and then seeing the whole pipeline of how the bug is actually built, how the bug is actually built. Sorry.
It's okay. We got you. We can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying like seeing how the full pipeline works. That's how we build that like the intuition to understand, is to align your technical skills to a product or business value, essentially.
Okay. So what's the role of failure and iteration in your ecosystem?
I think failure is very important, honestly. I think engineering and argue actually is about grit and failure. You try something, you fail. It's like it's learning that like the failure is not it doesn't mean stop doing something. It means learn from why you failed and then try something else. That grit to continue trying until you find a solution. That's a core aspect of engineering in general. We want kids to fail because failing means you're trying something beyond your capabilities. You're trying to grow. So that's encouraged. That's very, very encouraged.
Yes, and Emmanuel. All right, let's get into our last segment, okay? The wake up for tertiary and industry. Let's talk about the institutions and workplaces these kids are heading into in a few years. Are current tertiary systems ready to add value to a learner who's already building AI tools at 14 years, bro? Are we ready for that?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I think to be entirely honest, the one thing that won't go away with university is like the paper itself. The paper itself allows you to get a visa somewhere else. It just unlocks doors. So there's still that institutional aspect of people, the companies will still want to have that paper to at least like just pass the initial filter, the initial recruiter filter, or to get a visa to go somewhere. So that won't change. And I think they still value learning the theory behind what you build. So you understand like how to build things. University will build the theory to enrich your understanding. So there's still a value to it. And to be honest, universities are adapting. They have to adapt. There's no choice. Like we all have to adapt. It's not even an option at this point. So they will adapt with time. They tend to be slow to adapt to adapting, but they will adapt eventually.
Okay, let's then talk about this one, right? Industries, you know, what happens when companies are onboarding young professionals who've never even known a world without AI tutors and digital mentors? What happens then? Do you think we need a new kind of university industry partnership to support this coming wave?
Not entirely. I think, honestly, the world will adapt. The world is changing already as it is. So, for example, I work in a private equity. They're very big on like security. So we can't just like pass in data to AI in general. But we found a way around it. We're adapting by running AI locally to avoid exposing the data to the world, essentially. So it's small things where you see companies adapting like to the evolving world. The same thing with onboarding new talent. Maybe in the future, the onboarding will be done by like a virtual, like an AI onboarding process, something along those lines. And from what I'm seeing, like even the idea of onboarding is kind of evolving to some degree, because with many bigger companies, the onboarding requires you to be proactive yourself. And I think that AI actually enables this in many ways. It's like an unspoken thing. It forces you to like to take initiative in your learning, to be more initiative driven. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the same thing would happen with the onboarding process. You take initiative to find out things you need to find out and learn from different sources. So I think things will adapt. The world will adapt.
I love it. The world will definitely have to adapt this. We have no option. Yeah. We literally have no option. Yeah. Okay, finally, what's your message to educators and industry leaders who really might feel like this future is just coming too fast?
It's coming too fast. That's very true. But the same thing with smartphones, the same thing with the internet. It's actually like I'll argue the trend has been technology is moving faster and faster. That just goes without saying. So it's really like unfortunately it sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You adapt to get left behind. There's no two ways about that. So you just have to adapt to the times. There's no discussion. You have to adapt because things will move fast regardless.
Thank you so much. It was really a powerful conversation, and I'm sure they gained something, one or two, if not all, from the conversation that we've been having. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. God bless you.
Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it too. SkyzMetro FM. If this episode left you thinking, it should, because the future is not 10 years away. It's already here. And it's learning to code. We've spent this entire series exploring how AI is reshaping tertiary education and the workspace. But today's episode reminds us the biggest shift is still coming. So we need to evolve our institutions, our training programs, and workplace culture, not just to keep up with AI, but also to keep up with the young people who are mastering it. So to our listeners, are we building systems that serve the future or hold it back? Let us know your thoughts even on social media. Stay tuned for our next series of the Artificial Intelligence Show, where Zimbabwe's future meets today's reality.